Okay. Hello, folks. Welcome back to Accepted with Admission Prep. Today we have with us Maya, and I'll let you introduce yourself, Maya, versus myself. Do you want to first, for everyone at home, tell us a little bit about yourself, when you started with Admission Prep, and where you are now in regards to universities and scholarships?
Sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Maya. I'm currently a grade 12 student. I joined admission prep the summer before my grade 12 year, so roughly July, August. I've been in it for a few months now, and they have definitely helped me with the university and scholarship process more than I could have actually imagined or expected. Regarding universities, I've been accepted into three out of the four universities I applied to, and I actually got Ivy AEO status, which is a really big accomplishment. And I would not have been able to do that without admission prep. They definitely helped me with my essays and articulating the things that I've achieved. And I think that's something that they really helped me with was the wording, because it's basically just how you sell yourself to the universities, right? And then scholarships, non-school based scholarships, I've won around $2,000. And then I've got entrance scholarships to all of the schools that I have been accepted into.
Oh my gosh, how many? Which schools did you get accepted into? So you got into Western Ivy with AEO status. Congratulations, that's
Thank
massive.
you.
And what other schools did you get accepted to?
So I got into Western Ivy with BMOS as my undergraduate, so the Business Management and Organizational Studies. And then I got into Laurier for BBA, and then I got into McMaster DeGroote School of Business.
Okay, wow. Okay, awesome. Okay, we'll go to the schools. How much? So you won how much in total scholarship? Because you said you got an entrance award from every single school. So what did you win in total, roughly?
The Laurier scholarship that I won is over a course of 4 years. So if you do it over the course of 4 years and then plus the entrance of the other two, I think it would be around 20,000, 25,000.
Well, okay. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
where are you going to be heading this fall? Which school are you thinking is the right fit for you?
Western with IVAO status is my top choice. So right now, that is hopefully where I'm going to be going, unless I win a major scholarship from another school. That can definitely play into as a factor.
Okay. So
Yes.
you've just gotten into Western Ivy with AEO status and other top schools. Was that something you thought was possible when you first started applying to universities?
Grades wise, yes, I thought I could get into the schools. I had a little bit of doubt regarding the supplementary applications and especially Ivy because it's such a competitive program to get into. That was where most of my doubt was. So I definitely thank Admission Prep so much for helping me with that because that definitely helped me achieve my goals because Ivy is my dream. I guess it's kind of a program along with BMOS. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Now, let's go back to before the application process started. Like starting off, what were your aspirations and dreams about post-secondary education, and how did they compare to where you find yourself today with the options in front of you?
I think I was just able to achieve my dreams basically. I knew I wanted to get into a business undergrad and then I want to go to law school afterwards to become a corporate lawyer. So kind of merging that business and law aspect together. So I definitely knew that I wanted to do business and I think admission prep helped me reach that goal of doing business. And then also IB, which is a big thing that I mentioned before.
Okay, awesome. And then why law school? Like why do you want to be a corporate lawyer?
I've had a passion for law since I was in about grade six, and law for some reason just screams out to me. Like I love helping other people, and then I also love business. Like every business course that I've taken has been my favorite course in high school, or in my
Nice.
top favorites. So I think kind of just merging my two passions together. And then I've also done mock trial for a few years now. I'm on the school team, and I love doing that every single year. So I think kind of just merging
Okay.
the worlds together.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you didn't just say Suits. Because there's a lot of people like, oh, I watch Suits and
I
maybe I
haven't
want to be
even
a law.
watched Suits, so
Wow,
yeah.
you're like maybe the first student that wants to go to law school that I've spoken to that hasn't watched at least one episode of Suits. It's actually fantastic. But to get back to it, I want to now. So I want to go back to the transition of going, the transition from everyday high school work into the world of university applications and scholarship applications is challenging. What was your biggest fear entering this new world of essays, interviews? Like, what was your biggest fear?
I think time management was my biggest fear. And like in grade 11 and 10, I had good time management, but then adding the university applications, the scholarships, the supplementaries, everything on top of it, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it because you're trying to
Yeah.
keep your high marks for university applications, but then also do all these supplementaries and scholarships and everything on top. So I think that was definitely my biggest worry.
And how did you manage that?
um with admission prep's help. So I think I like to-do lists were my big thing. Like my desk was just filled with sticky notes every single day on it's like scholarship supplementaries and then things for OUAC and then tests and homework and all of that stuff, because if I didn't have something visually in front of me, I wouldn't have been able to know what I had to do because there was so much to do at
Yeah.
once. But I think admission prep helped me there a lot because they kind of made that to-do list and then I just had to do it. So yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad. And I guess it's students forget that, you can know it all, but you still have to actually manage your time and to be organized enough to actually do it. Now, I think you kind of answered this, but I'll ask anyways in case somebody has a different, maybe you have a different answer. In the very beginning, what did you find the most challenging about the university and scholarship application process?
Yeah, I think the time, like I said, would be the major thing, but also I think navigating, like there's not a lot of guidance within high school
Yeah.
because now like your guidance counselor's there to support you, but they're not there for those one-on-one meetings often, right? Like it's you book a 10-minute appointment and that's all you get. So I think the lack of guidance was a big challenge at first, but admission prep helped guide me through that and then the time management.
Okay, that's awesome. And can you share a little bit about your profile? Like maybe some of the things you were involved in, some of the things you did to make yourself a great candidate for these programs?
Sure. So I have been an executive on student council. So grade 10 and 11, I was an executive. This year, I'm the grade 12 rep. I've done mock trial for a few years. And then in grade like 9 and 10, I was on other clubs like Multicultural Cooking Club, Spirit Club, those types of things. And then regarding volunteer, I think that's where a lot of my time is spent. So I began a fundraising initiative to support underprivileged families in accessing school supplies for their children. And I actually partnered with my elementary school for this. And in the end, I was able to help 15 families by providing back to school supplies for them, which is really
Wow.
amazing. So that is one thing that I spent a lot of time on. And then I've also created care packages for the unhoused in Toronto with food, clothes, hygiene products, all of that stuff. I've done some fundraising for a dog shelter as well. And then I just do a lot of volunteer with school activities outside of school hours. So grade 8 open house night, or if we have like other events after school hours, I'm usually there guiding things and doing tours and all of that stuff as well.
Okay, wow. I mean, no wonder time management was one of your biggest challenges in navigating everything. And I guess students forget that part of it. It's not about just doing it on an application, but it's about enjoying and growing in a way to have an impact in your community. What would you say drove you to actually have this impact and be a leader?
I think I just have like a big desire to help people and I just want to make people's lives better. And I think it's just like in my nature, I'm just that type of
Yeah.
person. I always want to help others. Um, Actually, this leads to another extracurricular I forgot to mention before. But I founded a business club this year in my high school as well. Because once again, like you see people, if there's not an area that they can pursue their passions for business, for example, it's like they're left out in high school. They don't have somewhere that they can, like if somebody is interested in law, they can join mock trial. But if they're interested in business, what are they going to join? Right. So I
Yeah.
think my passion for helping people also shows there. I started this club just so that I could help other people once again, like show their passions.
Okay, awesome. That makes a lot of sense. It's just something that you genuinely get a lot of joy from, is what I'm really hearing. And it shows. You actually sound excited talking about it, and it clearly shows on your applications when you're doing it, right? And now I wanna fast forward a bit. Like, when did admission prep come into the picture for you? And what impact did you expect it to have on your application process?
So admission prep came into the picture. Probably right as I was ending my grade 11 year. That's when I became aware of it through a referral, actually. And then we started doing some more research, and then we booked the consultation appointment and everything. And then I actually enrolled in the summertime.
Hmm.
And I think that I originally just thought like, oh yeah, they'll just help me navigate the process a little bit, make it a little bit easier, a little bit of guidance, but they've done far more than just making it a little bit easier for me. I think they've made it a lot easier. And um, with the essay edits and the one-to-one sessions, I didn't really expect that when I first went into the consultation. I thought it was more like, oh yeah, I'd have a quick conversation with them. They'll set everything out for me and I just go and do everything, right? So I think my expectations were a little bit lower than what admission prep was actually able to provide for me. And it's amazing because I didn't really know much about the program coming into it. And now I want everyone else to join the program because they've done amazing things for me as well.
Okay. No, I love that. I guess, you found, I guess, what was your favorite part of the program?
I think the essay editing and the help with that was major, but then also just the one-to-one support sessions because like the
Yeah.
educator that you're with becomes like your biggest motivator. And I feel like she was like a cheerleader to me and she still is a cheerleader to me and I'm still going through this program. And it's encouraging when you have somebody kind of like over your shoulder just cheering you on along the way,
Yes.
motivating you to apply to all of these scholarships into these schools and do all of these amazing things. So I
Yeah.
think it's been amazing.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm glad you say cheerleader. I think for so many students, it's sometimes lonely when you have these big ambitions and feeling that you have the support, and you really do. Make sure you're not on your own is so important. And I want to understand now, kind of the before and after. Like, can you describe how your approach to university applications evolved after joining admission prep?
Yes. So before, I think I had the mindset that I could sit down in one weekend and get everything done. But after I joined admission prep, I realized that that is definitely not the case. I think they kind of help me with like navigating just apply to OUAC as early as you can, get all the applications in. And then once that's in, it'll be a matter of figuring out when the supplementary applications are due, setting that to do list and that timeline, sitting down and starting to work on all of that, while also managing that scholarship to do list and doing that at the same time because I didn't realize how early things were actually due when I was going into it. I thought that scholarships are like later in the year, like after Christmas time, but a lot of the major scholarships are due very soon, like once you start your grade 12 years. So I think before it was just I wanted to sit down and get everything done in one day, but that's not the case.
Yeah, nope. Literally like usually not possible to do
Yeah.
that for a lot of
Yeah.
students. And were there any specific changes you made to your university application strategy with admission prep's guidance, like some things you recall that had an impact?
I think starting my supplementaries far in advance was something that I definitely changed because one, you want to have time for all the editing and everything in between. But before, I didn't think about the editing time that it takes to
Hmm.
actually complete these supplementary essays and applications. But then also, I wasn't aware that some of the business programs require interviews as the supplementary application as well. And I think that definitely changed because in my own time, I was practicing speaking through a camera and stuff like that just to see how I was presenting myself. But then also in those one-to-one sessions, I would start practicing with my educator as well, just so that I was prepared. So that definitely changed once I entered the program.
Yeah, totally. And how did the interview process for these top universities go for you? And how did you feel?
It went pretty good. I feel like admission prep really helped me feel confident when I was going in because if you do enough research online and with the help of admission prep, they kind of help guide you in the direction that the questions will be. Obviously, you won't have the exact questions because they change every year, but it helped me prepare in some sense of what I was going to kind of be thrown at me. So I think it made me feel confident because I was able to practice with someone and I didn't know the questions that my educator was going to throw at me. So it was kind of like that in the moment, just speak.
Yeah. And did you find your communication skills improved?
Yes, definitely. Because if I hadn't practiced, I think I probably would have gone into the interviews and just started stumbling because I didn't have my thoughts and ideas collected. But practicing multiple times before I actually did the real interview helped me because I knew what I wanted to say if a certain type of question got thrown at me.
You bet. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think a lot of students forget that some of these top programs have interviews and you
Yes.
you You don't want to walk in blind. You do not want to walk in blind. I'm glad you're saying that. And now, either in your community or with admission prep, like, was there a pivotal moment where advice from admission prep or a mentor in the journey changed your approach to university applications? That comes to mind.
I think the one thing was that like my educator told me it's just like don't be scared and just do it. And it's like you can't think about all the negative things that are going to happen or like, oh, what if I put in all this time and I don't get like the scholarship? But I think it's worth doing everything because I started to realize that once I applied for one scholarship, a question for another scholarship is very similar. So I can take aspects of that essay that I wrote and put it into my next essay. But also the motivation of just not being scared and being told just to go for it is what helped me win some scholarships because I applied for a speech competition, for example, and I hadn't like done a speech for since I was probably in grade 6, and I would have never thought I would have been like, no, I'm not ready for this, but she told me do it, and then I placed first. So I think that
Wow.
just the don't be scared and just go for it really really helped me.
Yeah, totally. And I guess sometimes it helps to have somebody else telling you you can do it,
Yeah.
even if you're not sure.
Yes.
Um, gotcha. And now I want to, understand you've had a lot of success in the process. Were there moments when you felt throughout the university application process that you might not succeed? What were those moments and what kept you persevering?
I think it wasn't that I wasn't going to succeed because I knew that my grades were good enough to get me into these schools. I think it was more just I doubted myself, like every student will doubt themselves. Everyone has self doubt
Mm.
at some point in their life. But I think my doubt was definitely, I had a lot more doubt before I entered admission prep because I was kind of going into university process blind. I didn't know what to expect. But admission prep helped me make that a little bit easier. So I think I didn't really have any like major like I didn't think I wouldn't get into the schools. It was more just like how am I going to get into the schools with the supplementaries?
Yeah, that makes sense. You were confident you were on the right track and you just wanted to make sure what are the exact steps I need to take to get there? Yeah, you bet. Now, reflecting on your whole university and scholarship application journey, how do you feel about your journey from the start to this point?
I feel amazing. I feel like I've achieved everything that I've wanted to achieve. I got into my top choice of program and with IB AEO status, which is amazing. And I feel like I was able to manage all of the scholarships and university applications and homework and school and grades and everything while staying sane, which is amazing. So I think that I was really anxious going into the process, but now it's not done yet. But like now that it's coming to an end, it's amazing and it makes me feel proud that I've been able to accomplish all this stuff. But definitely with the help of admission prep, I know I wouldn't have been able to do all this stuff because the scholarships that you guys made me aware about, I wouldn't have been able to find without your help, right? So some of these things like it's amazing that I've been able to do all this, but still have a final stretch to go through. And I'm hoping that we can get a few more scholarships within these last few months. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and I guess like you've got a couple months left in grade 12. What is on the bucket list? Like, what are you hoping to achieve or hit before you graduate and go on?
It's just finishing the last few scholarships that I can finish applying to. Like, however many scholarships there still are left to apply to, I'm just going to apply to as many as I can, and hope to just keep my grades high, win as much money as I can, and yeah, just graduate. I'm happy with where I am now. So if I don't win any more scholarships, that's completely okay. But obviously, it's worth a shot. So.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Now, last two questions for you. For the younger student who has similar goals as you, maybe they want to go to a great business program, top school, something like Ivy AEO status. What advice do you have for younger students that are looking to apply to these type of programs?
Start as early as you can. I would say do a lot of research. Beginning grade 9, I would say like understand what you're going into so that when you get to grade 12, you're not going into it kind of blind like I kind of was, and that you have a better vision of what you're going to have to go through regarding scholarships and the whole application process. And I think it also gives you a good time to build up your extracurricular activities as well, which is amazing. And then I would say make to-do lists every single day, and like that should just be like it's like it was my guiding savior at that point. If without the to-do list, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I think just having a whole list of just due dates and then the order that you need to accomplish things like high priority, low priority, what's important to you is really important to make, because it helps once again guide what you need to do to achieve your goals and your dreams.
I love it. Starting early, being organized, keeping on track of everything. I think those soft and hard skills are so important. A, the timing, and then B, learning how to organize and to-do lists. And I guess you're a calendar person, I assume, from just hearing you speak. Yep.
Yes.
You're a big count. Love it. We love calendars. Now, last question for you. If you had to select one word to describe your journey with admission prep, what would you choose and why?
I would say supportive, I think, because that basically has been what admission prep has been to me, is just my biggest support system. They've been the cheerleaders and like the guidance and everything. And that's what I exactly wanted from it. And they were able to provide that for me and more. So I would just say supportive has been the best word to describe.
Okay, awesome. Well, Maya, I wanted to say thanks so much for coming by. It's been so good hearing your story. And for the people looking and actually watching this and hearing about Maya's story, she's incredible. Can't wait to see your name up in stars. Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap up with the group?
I don't think there's much. Just keep chasing your dreams, everyone. You can do it.
Keep chasing your dreams. Great
Yeah.
advice from the great Maya. Well, thank you so much, Maya. And we can call that a wrap. And I'm sure this is going to inspire many students out there.
Thank you.